During the 1990s, our team of meteorologists got some new tools to keep you safe.
In 92, we added our first live cams, and in 97, we launched our live Doppler network.
And for the first time, we could show you live radar and live images when severe weather hit. Two things that we continue to do to this day.
From powerful storms to a runaway jet, here's a look back at the biggest local stories of the 90s. In South Dakota, the 1990s began with a prehistoric discovery near Faith.
Deep inside this mold lies the preserved skull and lower jaws of the largest Tyrannosaurus rex believed to be found.
The world's most complete T-Rex skeleton would become known around the world as Sue. On April 19, 1993, South Dakota was back in the headlines. A plane carrying Governor George Mickelson and 7 others struck a silo and crashed in an Iowa field, killing everyone on board. That same day, Walter Dale Miller became the state's 29th governor.
I, Walter D. Miller, do solemnly swear.
Days later, at Mickelson's memorial service, South Dakotans packed into every corner of the state capitol to say goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, with our thoughts and our prayers, we are telling our governor, yes, George, you did the best job the last 6 years. No one could have done it better.
6 years later, we reported on another plane crash. A Learjet carrying golfer Payne Stewart lost contact with flight control as it flew from Orlando to Dallas.
The jet was on autopilot, with the pilot, Stewart, and 2 other passengers possibly unconscious because the cabin lost pressure. Radar tracked the jet, and the 2 fighter planes followed the Lear to its final deadly destination.
The plane ran out of fuel and crashed in a pasture near the tiny town of Mina. No one on board survived. During the summer of 1994, a young mother named Larissa Demansky disappeared.
It's been 12 days since the 29-year-old woman was seen walking out of the night shift at Morale. Today, the meatpacker is handing out posters to drivers.
Yellow ribbons decorated a tree in front of the business, one for each day Larissa was gone.
I hope she's still alive, and I'm still praying for her and hope everything will work out okay.
2 years later, search crews were out again. This time, they were looking for a young mother taken from her home near Canastota.
The family of Piper Jean Striley worked through the early morning hours, making these posters, faxing them to truck stops, and taking them personally to places all over Sioux Falls.
Days later, authorities arrested a man named Robert Leroy Anderson in Sioux Falls.
Neighbors say the Anderson family kept to themselves, as Elaine and Robert worked opposite shifts at Morel.
Anderson was eventually convicted of kidnapping and killing both women, and authorities believed he had a third victim picked out before he was caught. The blizzard of 1997 paralyzed much of South Dakota. The massive storm closed the interstates and schools. The blowing snow was so bad in Aberdeen, even police had to pull their patrol cars from the streets.
People flocked to local grocery and video stores to find ways to pass the time as the blizzard of 97 blew through the hub city.
We've had enough cabin fever this year to last us for another year, because people have been stranded more this year than I think they've been for a long, long time.
One of the people who found herself stranded was Karen Nelson. She was stuck in her vehicle in a snowbank for 40 hours with only her coat, a sleeping bag, and her cell phone.
I wasn't really too concerned because I thought I was just on the highway and somebody could come and pull me out and it'd be no big deal, but I wasn't on the highway. I was on a different road, so.
It took 2 days, but searchers on snowmobiles finally found her, thanks to the signal from her phone. The most devastating storm of the decade was on May 30th, 1998.
I realize it's hard to see, but that is a tornado. Wrapped up in all their tremendous amount of debris.
That debris was from the town of Spencer, where the F4 tornado killed 6 people and destroyed homes and churches.
People that were in their basements were killed and terribly injured. The town's gone. I mean, if a tornado is going to come in with that amount of fury and wrath, a warning system is irrelevant. Obviously warning systems are important, but in this instance, it didn't make any difference.
Volunteers from across the state came to Spencer to help with cleanup. KELOLAND Television held a telethon, and our viewers donated $1 million to help victims rebuild their lives.
So many key moments in history.
Well, yeah.
Well, tomorrow night, we are turning our attention to the 21st century.
From the local impact of the 9/11 terrorist attacks to Tornado Tuesday, we will look back at more of the stories that have shaped KELOLAND.
You'll also want to join us this weekend for our anniversary special, KELOLAND, Your Home for 70 Years. It will air on KELO TV on Saturday, May 20th at 7 o'clock Central Time.
Promise you, you don't want